Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp with a brand new brew review for you guys. Today we are traveling less far from Antwerp. Yesterday we were in Spain, but we are visiting Gobron in the Belgian Ardennes today with Lupulus Blanche. Now we have already tried the Lupulus Brew, which is the dark variant in Brew Review 79. And a bit before that, in episode 72, I reviewed their Opera. But we've talked about Lupulus Brewery even before that in Brew Review number 55 with the lovely triple General Patent. Like I said, in this episode we'll be talking about the Lupulus Blanche, the family Gobron's white beer. This is a very classic wheat beer, meaning it's an unfiltered beer brewed with coriander and curacao or orange peel and re-fermented in the bottle. It has an ABV of 4.5 and is fairly young in the Lupulus range since it has only been introduced in 2017. However, this beer is very well known for its quality, which is no surprise since Pierre has been brewing for over 40 years since he started La Chouffe in 1982. Unfortunately, I never had the honor of tasting this beer, and that is why I'm reviewing it today. Also, for some reason I did buy this with a huge discount because our local drink center had too much in stock. And who can say no to 50% off? Talking about the label here, this is a lovely, well, it's a classic Lupulus label, or a modern classic I should say. The black with the wolf in a certain color. They have a green one, they have a blue one, they have a red one. This is the yellow one. Yellow one is the white beer or the wheat beer. And they add that same wolf to the bottle cap as well. What does this bottle say? Yeah, like I said, coriander and orange peel, IBU 20, EBC 5. Yeah. No surprises there. Oh, here's one thing I didn't know. It is brewed with barley and wheat, as expected, but they also used oat flakes. Okay. Comes to show. Always read the label. You might learn something new. Another pretty fridge magnet. Yeah. EBC 5, that wasn't a lie at all. Now for an unfiltered beer, this is so clear, but we might have some residue in the bottle. We'll see about that later on. But yeah, this is a very, very pale yellow, almost, well, it is definitely see-through, but it is crystal clear almost, which is surprising for an unfiltered beer or for a wheat beer in general. Also very nice, thick, creamy white foam. A nice head of foam. We're not going to lose that anytime soon. It is very pale, but it is very pretty as well. Reminds me of an ex. The scent is very thin in this one. But it does smell quite herbal, which is obviously the coriander. But it's also a very pleasant scent. There is some slight sweetness around that. So it's classic, slightly malty, breathy, but very, very, very thin. And the dominant component here is definitely the coriander. And I'm presuming that that sweet edge comes from the orange peel. Curacao, also, if you ever get your hands on a bag, whether it's for brewing or baking or whatever, taste it. That dried orange peel or that dried zest is very flavorful in itself, and you can actually eat it as crisps. You'll just grow tired of it pretty quickly. Yeah, quite nice. Now, moment we've been waiting for, or at least I have been waiting for. How will it taste? Let's find out. Cheers! Very first thought, nice effervescence, lovely carbonation. We don't see any carbonation, but the bubbles are so tiny and they are present. Now, of course, this is rather cold. You see by the condensation on the bottle. It is quite cold, which means that there's a lot of carbon dioxide absorbed by the beer. So it's a bit more heavily carbonated, and it releases that right now because it's warming up. Secondly, this beer is very well known for its body, and that is no lie. It does have a lot of body. Now it looks very thin and it smells very thin, but whatever it lacks in looks and scent, it really makes up for in flavor. Also, it is flavor-wise hugely herbal, very nice. But apart from that, again, coriander. Apart from that, we also get some acidity, some sourness in the back of on the back of the tongue, which is very, very particular for wheat. And I think it has a lot of body because of those oat flakes as well, which is a very neat trick, of course. If you need more body in your beer, add some very protein-rich grain like oats. Yeah, this is actually a hit for me. Also, while warming up, it gets a bit more herbal, but also slightly more acidic. But it doesn't lose that typical Belgian beer, that yeastiness flavor. So yeah, lovely. I think we're gonna have a bunch of high scores in a row here, because as far as wheat beer goes, this is a pretty good one. I think this is a wheat beer that we cannot compare to, for example, Hoegaarden or any given Hefeweizen, or it's not a classic Weizen. But it is a very, very lovely. I'm very curious for the amount of grains that went into this beer. Yeah. Now let's see if we get this hazier. Of course, more condensation. Yeah, that is way less clear. So we just had all the sediment in the bottom of the bottle, and that is why it was so crystal clear. This looks more like an unfiltered beer. Now, as in the Duvel video, or more in the comments underneath the Duvel video, cleared up, is that if you add the yeast from the bottle, and this doesn't go for all beers, but oftentimes it does, when adding the yeast to the glass, you make your beer a bit more mellow and slightly more bitter, slightly more flavorful as well. So let's see if it makes any difference. Oh, also, while warming up here, it's still very herbal, but it gets a bit lemony. I get a gist of lemongrass, and I don't mean like in the Hoegaarden lemongrass that Famo or the Broke Belgian brought from Thailand, but I do get a hint of lemongrass here. Oh, beautiful combination with the coriander as well. I do get a bit more acidity, like citric acid. It's not like an old brown, like a lactic acid, for example. No, it's more like, it's also not vinegar, but it's more like a citric acid, a bit of citrusy component, mainly lemon, maybe a bit of lime, but mainly lemon. Okay, another nice score, and I do love that this is only 4.5% ABV. So where we had a 7% yesterday, this compensates for that. Although I don't think that you'll do yourself a favor when drinking this after that Amber export, because that toastiness of yesterday's beer and the freshness and the acidity and the herbal component in this beer, those might fight. But nonetheless, a very nice beer. How should I score this? I would say, let's make it a 3.75 again. I was thinking 3.5, but I think that's a bit too low for this quality of beer. So yeah, 3.75 for a wheat beer is, in my book, pretty high. But we have been scoring high lately. If you guys see my Untapped from Modest Beer Festival, oh my god, that was 3.75 or 4 after another. What happened there? That was a huge quality weekend for me. Also met a lot of brewers, so if you guys want to taste a lot of beers for dirt cheap and meet the brewers, come to Modest next year. Okay, that all being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up or leave a comment down below. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you'll get notified whenever I upload something, which should be every Saturday and Sunday. Around 7, maybe 8, still haven't decided. I will be coming out with some news later this week, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Cheers!